Hey, flawed followers, Dr. Wayne Mancari here, coming to you from Cathedral of Faith. What a great story this week about Jesus walking on the water and Peter saying, hey, I want to come out and walk with you. This really helps me feel that I can relate to Peter. The whole process of stepping out and then losing sight of Jesus by looking at the circumstances and sinking. I want to tell you a story about a couple years ago, actually many years ago, when I was a youth pastor, and we took a whole bunch of kids for winter retreat up to Heavenly in Tahoe. And I hadn't really skied for a long time, but the youth were saying, "Hey, come with us, get on this ski lift." And I got on the ski lift, and we went up and up and up and up, and finally got up at something called Black Diamonds. I need to tell you, the next 4 hours were miserable. It took me 4 hours to get all the way down the hill, and here's why. I'm trying to go down and I look and it's like, oh no, there's a tree. Boom, hit the tree. And then I got up finally, started to go again. I'm like, oh no, there's a kid. Boom, hit the kid. That mother was so mad at me. It took me 4 hours to do one run. I hit trees and bushes and people, and it was horrible, but I wasn't going to give up. So when I got down to the foot of the hill, I went over to the bunny slopes where all the little kids were, and I said to the ski instructor, what am I doing wrong? And he said to me, well, where were you looking when you hit the tree? I was like, I was looking right at it. I could see it was in front of me. And he's like, where were you looking when you hit the kid? And I'm like, I was looking right at the kid. And he's like, exactly, because where you look is where you go. He's like, you're at the top of the hill. You want to go to the bottom? Look at the bottom of the hill. Go left, go right, go left, go right. But keep your eyes on the bottom of the hill, because if you look at the tree, you're going to hit the tree. And that day I learned an important lesson that I think we learned from Peter in this story. Wherever you look is where you go. If you look at the circumstances, if you look at the storm, if you look at the wind, if you look at the waves, well, you're going to sink. But if you look to Jesus, then you can be successful no matter what storm is going on around you. There's a quote I memorized years ago I want to share with you as I close out, and it's this. We are not always responsible for the circumstances that we are in, but we are responsible for the way we allow them to affect us. They can get on top of us, or they can transform us into what Christ wants us to be. We're not always responsible for our circumstances, but we are responsible how they affect us. Because if you're just looking at the circumstances, that's what's going to impact you. That'll bring fear, that'll bring frustration, that'll bring sinking. That'll bring all the discouragement and anxiety that we can handle. But if we keep focusing on Jesus, instead of looking at the circumstances, look at him who says, I'm going to work everything out for good, which is that you'd be conformed to the image of Christ. So let those storms strengthen you to become more like Christ, and keep your eyes on Jesus, because where you look, that's where you're going to go.